Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Michael Q, LAU, and today in Teachers After Dark, it's going to be a slash always be learning and executing edition where we're going to be going to a mastermind. Well, I wanted to be giving you my insights to a mastermind that I'm going to be attending. So this is the before going to the mastermind, and as you see, I'm in a different location. I'm at a different place. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, where I'm going to the Credit to Cash Mastermind. And today we're going to have 4 speakers coming up, and I don't know who they are, but I know they're going to be a plenty game how to turn your credit to cash and to make it flow continuously. So it's all about leveraging your personal credit to go into your business credit, so then you can be able to fund your lifestyle that you would like to have with a business that's going to continuously bring in cash flow. So today is day 1. Today is a Friday, so I'll be uploading this in the upcoming weeks. But don't worry about that. As soon as you get this information, you'll be able to apply it to your life to see if this is the way that you would like to go. And it'll be able to give you just different insights and different tidbits of different things that you can do with the money that you already have, and how to get some OPM or other people's money so that you can be able to up your cash flow to be able to generate that into that credit, into cash, and continuously go through that stream of the lifestyle cycle of the river. And the river is going to be the money that's continuously coming in, that's just banking off the banks and continuously coming back into the river. So, if you're ready, go ahead and tap on in, but never tap on out. I want to give you my updates as soon as I come on back. But right now, I'm about to go ahead and leave. Alright? And thankfully, I was able to get my car up to date onto Turo as well. So the car that I bought on last weekend, while on the way down here, I was able to finalize it, getting onto Turo. And now I just got to click one more button to get the process started, which I'm going to click on that button starting on next Monday after I get these trackers installed. Alright, so as always, you all say for fit and bless in. Tap in, never tap out. I'm out. Alright, what's going on, everybody? I just came back from the master class. Actually, it was last night, but I was a little too tired to be doing it last night as I came in around 12 in the morning. So I'm going to do a quick recap of everything that we did on last night. Alright, so I was taking strenuous notes, and most of them are going to be on this laptop. I'm just going to go ahead and read through. So if you see me looking down from time to time, that's exactly why, because there was like too much game that was given on last night. So the first person that came up on the stage was Who is Gooch, and he's a home healthcare provider, and he's able to make money while helping and employing CNAs and RNAs to be able to help people at their home as they transition from the hospital back to their home to be able to get home healthcare provided for them at the leisure of their home.
I look at it like, with me being the owner of the company, nobody should really outwork me, because at the end of the day, the buck stops with me. So I have to be patient in myself. I have to be patient in my employees. I have to be patient in my company and everything about it, because nothing's going to happen overnight. You have to build those relationships. You have to have those handshakes. And that's why everything relies upon patience, because nobody is going to do stuff in your time because they have their own life going on.
And there's a couple of things that he really gave away as far as how to really start your home healthcare business, and a couple of things that you'll need. As with any business, you'll need an LLC, an EIN number, and then a couple of other things that you'll need as well are going to be general and liability insurance, a state license, and there's 2 states that have an exception. One of them is Alabama, and the other one, I forget which one it was, but it's all good. And the other one that you'll need is, the last thing that you're going to need is a policy and procedure. And the policy and procedure is, in case this happens, this is going to happen as a result. So if there's a slip and a fall in the house, what are you going to do afterwards? You'll be called 911, help take the person to the hospital, send documentation over, follow up, and go through, and different things of that nature. So it's basically just different things that you're going to do in case of an incident or an emergency. All right, so it's just a way that they're able to help to be liable for all of their actions. So if something were to happen, they're able to say, well, your policy procedure say this, you're supposed to be following these guidelines, however they weren't followed. So it's able to help the person stay liable for everything that they said that they're going to be doing, to help not only protect the company, but then also the patient as well, as that's going to be the number one thing to be able to make sure that you're checking out for. All right. So a couple of things before you even really get into like the deep play about, you know, the reason why you should have a home healthcare business is because it is recession proof. Now, there's a couple of recession proof businesses that are in the world already. You can think everybody needs a house, so Airbnb is pretty much safe, or hotels are definitely going to be safe. Real estate is generally going to be safe, although they're going to have ups and downs. They will be able to survive a recession. You just have to be able to do things a little bit differently. Sometimes if you're in real estate and you have a down market, the best thing to do during that time would be able to rent out your place until it goes into the bull run, or it starts to go up. Otherwise, you may, if you sell at a low, it's not going to be that beneficial for you. All right. I was watching an episode with Ernie Leisure one day, and they were talking about how there was a person who pretty much predicted that the 2008 financial house market crash. And what he did is he had a lot of property and he sold it at the peak before the crash. And then when it came to the crash at the bottom, he then re-upped and he was able to make more money during that time, or make more investments during that time than he would have had he just held on to everything and just waited for everything to bottom out. So sometimes it's best to be able to sell high, you know, sell at $1 billion, whereas when the market goes down, it may go down to, you know, 500 million, you know, or it goes down by 50%, and then if you sell high when it's at the 100%, and then it bottoms out down, you know, 60%, you can then divvy up right there, and it's like you're buying at 3 times, well, at 60% off the market rate when you had sold at 100%. So you're able to not only make 100% of where you were, but then capitalize on that as well. So it's like and then when you're able to sell again when the market goes back up, you were at 1 billion. Now you're at 1.5 billion as a result, because you're being patient throughout the process. All right, and there's some other companies that were recession proof as well, Turo, or car rentals, because everybody needs to go back and forth from work. And if you remember going back into the pandemic, nurses, they were traveling from state to state to make sure that people that they were able to, you know, help in different hospitals that definitely needed the help. If you remember, New York, a lot of nurses traveled up there to be able to help out with that, as that was like one of the first places that were hit by the pandemic. And a lot of the other states, we learned through their example of everything that they were going through, and we're able to come up as a result and learn how to do different treatments and different things of that nature. And Airbnb was definitely one of those things that was much needed, as nurses and doctors needed, and firemen as well, needed places to be able to live during that time as they transition from state to state. Next thing I said, Turo. So of course, if you're living in the house and you need to be able to go to work, car is something that you'll definitely be able to need. So car rentals are always going to be there as well. Sanitation, because who wants to live in an unfit place? If you ever traveled outside of the United States and you've seen like the sanitation really wasn't up to par with what it should be, or what the standard of American it is today, you will realize that sanitation is very key. All right, and who wants to go and throw out the trash at a local dump site? You know, being able to go take 2 or 3 different trips every single week and then dirty up your car. It's just more convenient to be able to have sanitation workers to be able to do that. And coming from the city of Memphis, we really do respect the sanitation workers. As you know, this is the place that Martin Luther King came, as he was giving a speech about the sanitation workers and how unfair that their treatment was. And as a result, there's a lot of things that do live on as a result of the sanitation strike that was going on during the time of his death. And then another thing is healthcare. I've already talked about how the nurses go to state during the pandemic to be able to help with the pandemic. But healthcare is always going to be one of those sad to say, the SAD diet or the standard American diet leads people to the hospital to put them on prescriptions to be able to pay off the pharmaceutical companies with the different drugs that they're giving people that don't treat the problem, but only treat the symptom. So from every day we're paying pharmaceutical bills every single day. So every day we're popping pills to pay the pharmaceutical companies' bills. All right, and really, if you want to be able to get away from popping pills and paying the pharmaceutical bills, you want to be able to get to more nutrition, more organic foods. And this is an example. You can do a 6 superfood smoothie all in one drink, and all it takes is this. And you're done. And that just comes in from this power shake, which you're able to get all the micronutrients that you need for the day. It's a 6 superfood salad all in one. Not even a six superfood salad, but a 6 superfood smoothie. So it's going to have your berries and your vegetables in there as well. So you'll be able to get everything that you need. And 90% of Americans do not get enough fruits or vegetables in their daily diet. And as you saw, as quickly as I drank that juice, I was able to get 6 servings of fruits and vegetables all in one.
Are you tired of being tired, of not having enough energy to last you throughout the day? Are you worn out at work, too drained to go to the gym, or too sluggish to play with your kids, and too tired to hang out with your friends and your family? Don't worry, you're not the only one. In fact, 1 in 3 Americans struggle with having enough energy to last throughout the day. But there's good news, because you can change all that by focusing on your gut health. Did you know that your gut has good and bad microbiomes that grow inside of it? And the more that you feed the good, the healthier and livelier that you feel. When you feed the bad ones over time, you start to feel bad, then sad, and it turns into a fad that you feel like you can't escape. And it becomes your personality, aka your personal reality, and you feel like you cannot escape it, and you accept life as it is, and that it won't change. But that's where you're wrong. You just have to be able to shift your focus. See, most people fall into the trap of the SAD diet, or the standard American diet, which focuses on fast food, which is cheap and high in calories, rather than nature's fast food, which are fruits, vegetables, grains, nuts, and legumes that help nourish your body so that you can flourish. It's also no mistake that 90% of Americans do not eat enough fruits and vegetables according to the daily recommendations, and that's only 5 servings a day. What if I told you you can have the equivalent of 6 superfood salads all in one that's all natural, organic, whole foods? Yes, natural, organic, whole foods. And you can make and consume it in under a minute, and it only costs $4 a day. So there's no excuse that you need to shop, chop, and cook your foods because it's delivered at your front door. If this sounds good to you, check the description down below and schedule a 15-minute complimentary call so you can see how this can be able to fit into your lifestyle. So you can change your personal reality and increase your energy, mood, digestion, sleep, and skin, all by focusing on your gut health, which is the cause to all your symptoms. Don't believe me? Just Google gut health blank and you'll find plenty of research articles that find a connection. Back to the video.
One of the reasons why he was saying that you need to have a recession-proof business is because you want to be able to have the income to be able to come from that and that be able to go away. He's known some entrepreneurs who, were millionaires, but then they hit a financial downturn and they lost it all. They had $1 million and then went down to 200,000 and then it just fizzled out because they didn't have a recession-proof business. So he gave an example of how much that he gets paid on a daily basis or a weekly basis based on different amounts of nurses that he has. So when people ask him how much he gets paid, he always tells them $6 an hour. And he says that because he breaks it down this way. So with Medicaid, they pay out people $20 an hour for unskilled case. Now, unskilled case is basically like daily living type things. So things that we kind of take for granted. So getting up in the morning, brushing our teeth, washing our face, taking a shower, getting food prepared. These are unskilled things. These are things that family members would generally help out their people that come out of the hospital after post surgery to be able to help them out for their daily living. So these are unskilled things. So you think about a relative that was sick, they got out of the hospital, and you were there to take care of them during that time. These are the different things that are considered unskilled, and the CNAs are more likely going to be able to take over this role, even though RNAs or registered nurses can do this as well, or RNs I should say. So Medicaid usually pays $20 an hour for unskilled case, and then he he pays the clients or the CNAs 20 to 14, and at the high end, he's going to do 14. So the range for the hours for the week are going to be between like $20 and $35 an hour. So if you multiply 6 times 30, it's going to give you $180. So it's going to be $180 for over the course of the week. And then if you multiply that by 4 nurses, that's going to be $720 for the entire week. And each case usually lasts between like 3 months and longer. So if you multiply it by 12 weeks, it's going to be $8,500. It's going to be the course over 3 months. If you multiply that by 3, it's going to give you $34,000 for the entire year, and that's just with 4 CNAs over the course of the entire year at $30 an hour. So, I mean, 30 hours per week, which they can fluctuate and go up or go down. So, that's one of the things that he was talking about. And still, with the skill, Medicaid usually pays around like $47, and he'll pay his nurses like $33 an hour. So, if you take $14, which is the difference between what he gets and what he pays out, multiply that by 40, it'll give you $560. If you multiply that by 4 nurses, that's going to give you, it's 11, 20, 3,240. And you multiply that by 12, it's going to give you 26,880, or just about like 27,000. And of course, that's over the course of 3 months. And you can see how you can scale up from there. So over the course of a year, it will be like $108,000. That's pretty good. So the way that you're able to get these clients is that you'll need to be face to face, because calling and sending text messages or different flyers just isn't enough. They need to put a face to the name for the person that they're going to be putting their trust with the patients with. So you can always Google doctor's office and charities, do research on companies that could use their services, reinvent the wheel, and do things differently. So you always want to be able to just do what's already working, and then also put your slight edge into it as well. And when you do so, you're going to run into blue ocean territory. And blue ocean territory is where there's no competition, and you're doing the best that you can within the niche that you're in, because nobody is doing the same thing. And when you do so, you may go after leukemia hospitals or charities, and when you do that, you're going to get 100% of the leukemia patients, and then as a result, you're only going to be going after leukemia CNAs or nurses, and then because they're constantly doing like the same thing over and over again, you now have a specialized market within the niche of home health care. So it's something that you can always do. Other ways that you can reach out to, and then the ways that you'll reach out to the doctor's offices and the charities is by doing lunch and learns with the nurses, nurses and doctors, so then they'll know exactly what they're getting into. So then if they're interested in getting like a side job, they can always do that as well. And because it's something that they're already doing, they're using their skills to go help more people in the community and pay their bills as well. So it's a win-win situation. And then you can also reach out to charities that may need your services as well. Because in the city of Memphis, we have the Labonner Hospital for Kids. So there's different things that children need, and they may get dismissed, or it's not dismissed, but they get, it's not dismissed, is this something, discharged from the hospital, and then they may need additional help at home. And one of the things that health is one of the things that people spend their last dollar on, and they're really going into debt, for the health purposes. So you think about somebody that's, that's had a surgery. If it's life altering, they may need that surgery in order to survive, and people will give their last in order to live even longer. And if you think about it, if I tell you that I'll give you $1 million today, but you'll have to die tomorrow, you wouldn't want to take that deal. But if you had, and then if you had $1 million, and in order to survive, and you had a 100% chance that the surgery was going to work, you'll be able to live, on 10 or 20 years, or just live further beyond tomorrow, you will be willing to take that $1 million risk, and not having risk, but because it's 100% guaranteed, you want to be able to give that $1 million in order so you can be able to live another day. So if you think about what's more important, life, health, or your wealth, they really go hand in hand, because you can't have one without the other. But I would say that health is going to be number one, because if you had the money to be able to have wealth, if you had money to be able to have health, you would give everything that you had to be able to have the health, so you continue on with living. All right. So that's one of the speakers that he talked about, and he also talked about having goals, having and knowing your specific goals that you have. So then, if anybody asks you what your goals are, you're able to spot it out. And we had a room of like 15 people, and he made it through like 3 people talking about the different goals that they had. One person was talking about how he wanted to increase, get more cars on the Turo. And then another young lady said that she didn't necessarily have any goals. So then that's when he really broke down and started to break down reasons why you want to be able to have goals. Because basically what he was saying is that if you're doing things but you don't have a goal, you never know if you really made it. And then if you have a goal, you can be passionate about it. Is it a passion project, or is it just about money? Because if it's a passion project, you'll be willing to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and stay up till midnight to be able to get it done. But if it's just about money, you'll be doing it during a certain period of time. You won't be really as driven to get it done. So having your goals, it really just aligns you with your motivation to be able to get you going. And then as you get motivated, that's the kickstart to get you going. But then when you have that goal, it's going to continue having you move forward and forward, so you can continue to be disciplined throughout that journey. And one of the things that I'm motivated to be able to do, or one of my short-term goals, is to be able to get 4 cars by the end of August. That way I can really begin my entrepreneurship journey onto Turo. And I already have 1 car down. I have another car I could possibly get by the end of July. I just have to be able to apply and go from there. And then I got to work out 2 other ways that I'll be able to get 2 more cars onto the platform of Turo. And thankfully everything is working out, because I have somebody that can install some GPS trackers onto the car. I already had them shipped to the house. So by the time that I come back, I'll be able to get them installed on Monday to get this car that I drove down, that I just bought this past weekend. I'll be able to put that up on Turo and get that going. So goals are very important. And one of my long-term goals is to be a multi-millionaire, and also help teachers get their health on track as well. And start an after-school teachers health program for district-wide for the city of Memphis, for where I'm already working in. And I'm starting off locally with the school that I'm working at, and then it's going to encompass the different schools in the area, and then it's going to bloom into the other areas as more and more services are needed. And then Mitch came in, and during the interlude, Pushman Mitch that is, came in, he started talking about how different ways that you're going to be able to build your business from the beginning.
All right, so look, a lot of people ask me when they get in the rental car game, where do they store all their cars? So that's the first thing they ask me. I don't have a warehouse, Mitch. I'm going to get all these cars. Where do I put them? So what I did when I first started is I would go to different car washes all around the city, right? And I would say, let me put some display cars out in front of the car wash. I'll go to a banner place, get one to put over the windshield that says rent me. And then I'll go ahead and get the 1-800 number for my business and my Instagram on there. And then also I get a banner that stands up that says my business name on it. It also gets me walk-by traffic from everybody who comes to the car wash, and it can be mutually beneficial to the car wash owner, because we got exotics like this, and that can actually draw traffic to their car wash.
And he was saying like the first 6 months are just going to be testimonials. It's going to be free, so you can get to the fee. So your first 6 months is going to be free services that you're providing to the community so that you're able to get the testimonials. And once you get the testimonials, you'll then be able to charge the people that weren't there at the beginning a fee. So then they'll be able to get the services that you are putting out there. And it's like if you go to a doctor's office and they say that they want, or you want to do like credit repair, and somebody says, this is my first day, it's my day one, give me your social security card number. Give me your social security number. You'll be less than likely to give out your information because they're new. You don't really know them, you don't have any reviews. But the more reviews and testimonials that the person has, the more likely people are willing to part with their money to be able to get to the outcome that they so desire. And then he also talked about like why people didn't show up to the mastermind. And the person that stated that she didn't really know what her goals were, she gave an excellent answer, and she stated that it wasn't convenient. And that's basically what it boils down to. I had to drive 3.5 hours, well, 5.5 hours in order to get to Atlanta for the mastermind. Not only that, I had to, pay for gas money, different things of that nature. But one of the things that kept me motivated is because I was able to land a car that I'm going to put on Turo. So, putting everything in motion and being able to get the car just in time to be able to come to the mastermind really helped everything out as well. So it's all about applying everything that I've been learning through this Credit to Cash challenge that's been going on with Miss Cashflow.
Get funded in the next 90 days. How? Do something different the next 90 days than you've done the last 90 days in your life. Make yourself credible. File for your LLC. Get your DUNS number, professional name, email, website, phone number. Let's go. Let's get funded. Take action today. Stop spectating. Get in the game.
And then, so I'm able to put myself in a position to be able to secure more personal credit and then business credit as well. And as a result of going through this entire process, I'll be able to help people that would like to go through the process that I'm going. So I'm able to reach out my hand and help people get to the place that I am currently. And this only happens when you're currently taking those steps to get to the next level. All right. And as they say, there's new levels at new levels. So as I'm going to these new levels, I'm going to encounter different challenges that I'm going to overcome. And then as a result, I will help them to be able to alleviate or escape from the different roadblocks or hurdles that I've been through as well. All right, and that's why people pay for the services, because they're paying for the shortcuts. The second speaker that we had is Chris Fifey, and he's a McLaren district. He's something very impressive. But he's an entrepreneur in that he is an entrepreneur within a job setting to where he's getting paid off of commissions for making deals for different companies. Sales rep for like the Southeast division. So he's over a lot of things when it comes to McLaren. So he's the one person that people are going to go to if they are interested in getting a McLaren in the Atlanta City district.
Performante is slightly wider than the standard Urus. But before then, when I was placing the order for this, there was no Performante. It hasn't come out yet. So I said, fuck it, I'm gonna build my own.
All right, and he was talking about, how to sell. So the first thing that he said is don't be a salesperson, be a help person. They're 90% there. It's your job to take them 10% over the edge to get them to their destination. So people come to him for, to be able to buy a car. But it's more than just a car. It's an experience that they're looking for. And it's his job to be able to fill that information gap, that 10% gap, to get them to the closing table. And he always sees the relationship as he is a help person. And he's just a person to be able to help get to the other side. And it can easily be anybody else. And the reason why they come to him is because he makes himself the subject matter expert. So he does different posts on IG. He's the person that people know about. They have information about McLarens or different cars of that nature, and he's the person that's able to say the same thing but then give a little bit more information as well. So by making yourself the subject matter expert, people are attracted and gravitate towards you to be able to get more additional information to be able to complete the picture that they have because they have 90% and they look to him to get the other 10%. So knowing your competition is just as important as knowing your brand. You know, why are they able to do this at this scale and you may or may not be able to do it at this scale? Why are they doing this? Why are they doing that? Because you already know your brand inside and out. But what is it about the other brand that they're doing that's, you know, able to bring and attract people in as well? Because if you're able to understand the reason why, you can then choose to do the same thing or do things slightly differently or not at all because it's going to align with your brand. And then you want to be able to showcase your knowledge. And showcasing your knowledge is just being able to state the different facts about, you know, the industry, why if they have an inquiry about, you know, McLaren, you know, they don't want why they don't want to buy McLaren because they depreciate in value. You can then be like, well, yes, McLarens do depreciate in value because they're on average sell for $300,000 if it's brand new. By the time they get off the lot, it's $250,000. So instead of buying a new McLaren, buy something that's used so that it can hold its value. It can hold the $250,000 for the course of 2 or 3 years, so that you'll be able to drive it rent free and then be able to sell it for the same price or even higher than what you had bought it for. And that's a way that you can be able to go at the other end of the spectrum of their perspective. From first they didn't want to buy, now they're interested in buying because now there's upside to it. So you take that negative perspective and then you transmute it to something that's positive. Then now it turns into something that, okay, now I can see why I would want to be able to purchase this. All right. So you got to be able to guide them through the entire process. And one thing that he said is, fact isn't enough. Sometimes you have to find common experiences to break the ice and build the rapport. And one of the things that he talked about was how there was somebody that came in, he was a truck driver, came from Texas, just Southern, had a thick accent, had everything. And his sales rep told him that they were interested in getting a car, so they went and got him. Now, he's a dapper dressed guy, you know, kind of slim, suit wearing kind of guy, ankle showing, you know, type stuff. So he comes out and he sees the trucker guy with the cowboy boots and everything like that, and she's like, okay, so how am I going to be able to build this rapport? Because, you know, facts tell, but stories tell. And he can talk about all the facts of figures about why he should get the McLaren and X, Y, and Z and how it would benefit him, but without a story behind it, without a story that can connect them two together, there's not going to be a sale. So he came in and he saw that he had some decals on his truck for like 2 horses, and like the foot of one horse was bent over, so he knew it would be a walking horse. And you wouldn't think that the city slicker type dressed guy would have 2 horses. So when he first met him, he was like, "Oh, I see you got the horse. What kind of horses you ride?" And he was like, "You got walking horses or X, Y, and Z." So he went into like a little deep dive into horses, and he asked him which ones that he has. And then he told him what type of horses that he has, and the type of horses that he has are like purebreds, and they're really for people that are into horses, as you know, they cost a lot of money. So they talk about, you know, their experience with like horses and X, Y, and Z, how long he's been, you know, riding horses, how he was able to, after 14 years of serving in the Marines, he was able to, you know, retire and be able to, you know, just be able to relax and be able to get some horses and different things of that nature. And then the trucker's son is in the Army, and although he would like for him to have been in the Marines, he said that he was too soft. So because he knew that he was in the Marines, he knew he wasn't a soft type guy, and that, you know, bonded them together, that brought them together. You know, the person's name I'm talking about is Chris, and the other person's name may have been John. And he said, you know, they got basic names, but that wasn't enough to really solidify the relationship. He had to go a little bit deeper down. And talking about the horses really mended them together. So the stories really were able to tell the story was able to sell him on the type of person that he was in order to bridge that 10% gap to really get him, make sure that he was paying attention. I think that's very important as you're speaking to your audience to make sure that you are very relatable so that they can understand, that you have commonalities and you're bringing things together. Another thing that he really spoke of is like how the customer's experience or perspective is more important than yours. People are more likely to change their mind if they reach the conclusion for themselves, not because someone else told them to. And it's one of those common sayings that says that a mind convinced against its will is of the same mindset still. So if somebody told me that cookies were bad for my health, X, Y, and Z, yada, 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 but I enjoy eating cookies, I'm going to continue eating those cookies. It's not until that I get a headache and I start and I may, potentially vomit, that I'm like, you know what, this isn't a good thing for myself. So you can tell me all of the things that can go wrong or will go wrong if I'm eating, so much junk food or anything of that nature. But it isn't until I take it in, and sometimes it's from a personal experience, or it can be from other people's lived experiences that I'm experiencing vicariously. And in doing so, I then learn and I'm able to grow. Like one of the things like growing up, my grandmother died of lung cancer. So for me, I had that personal experience growing up that I knew that drinking of course isn't good for you, but I know that smoking is definitely not going to be good for you. So as a result, I've never smoked a cigarette a day in my life. And there's a lot of, people like to smoke weed and different things of that nature. And I figured if it's still smoking, it's still going to consume or swell inside your lungs. It's not going to be something that's good for you. So I made a personal decision to stay away from smoking. And recently, I'm even staying away from alcohol as well, even though I'm drinking probably like once every, 3-4 months or something of that nature. Isn't that something that I'm totally kicking out? But I'm realizing that there's not anything that's beneficial for drinking. Besides, the only thing that is really beneficial for is to be able to anesthetize you against the different things that are going on in your life. And if you think about anesthesia, it's something that puts you to sleep. So it puts you to sleep for anything that you're going through. So if you had a hard day at work and you need to be able to kick the edge off, you want to go home, drink, financially at the bottom of the bottle, that's what you're doing. It would anesthetize you from thinking about or solving the problems that you're actually going through. So that's why, I definitely, anytime I'm having a difficult day at work, the alcohol or liquor is not going to be the answer to the problem. It's never a solution. It's always just going to be able to thwart the problem. It's going to stymie it for a little bit, but it's still going to show back up. And as a result, instead of medicating, I choose to meditate. And meditating has really has shown to be a solution-driven problem. As through some of my meditations, even though I'm supposed to be, focused on just my intention, sometimes my brain wanders and it bounces back and forth. But sometimes during those bounces, I'm able to see what the different things or get ideas of what I should be doing, and then I'm able to then enact on it. Meditation to me is like taking a shower and you get all of these bright ideas during the shower time, and then when you get out, you have, okay, I can be doing this, X, Y, and Z. Like you get all of these great ideas during meditation or during the shower time that you normally wouldn't think of when you're trying to generate or when you're generating all of these different ideas. All right, gotta get rid of that T word, okay? No more trying. They say that they tried and that's why they failed. You can't try, you gotta do it, okay? All right. Just continuing on, some other things that he said is less and more. The fewer options that you give people, the easier it is for them to make a decision. People can get into like a decision fatigue because they have so many options, they have so many choices in what they can do. But then when you're able to break it down into 2 choices, possibly 3, you can then have them narrow down their decision making. And the reason, in a way, that you narrow down to 2 top choices for them is by actively listening. When you're having a conversation, like he was having a conversation with him and the walking horses that he had, he's asking them different questions as well, that's then going to give him feedback on different things that he needs. Because, you know, how you do one thing is how you do anything. How you do one thing is how you do anything. So if you're making a decision about this, he's more than likely going to make a decision about something else that's similar in a similar way. So that's how he's able to narrow down or funnel down the type of cars that the person may be interested in. I can't give you a specific example in cars, but I know in food, if I know a person doesn't like seeds or they like zesty type vegetables or fruits, I know I can probably hook them on, you know, doing like a lemon zest watermelon smoothie versus something that was tart like blueberries and blackberries or something of that nature. So you can figure out what they like just by different tastes or different questions, the way that they're reacting. All right. And then he did say that listening is the vital half of communication. So communication isn't just about talking. It's all about how you move your body language, as only 10% of communication is verbal. So you have, you know, your body language, you have the verbal cues, the words that people use, and it helps to be able to build the communication as well, and also how well that you're listening, and then even like restating what they said and then giving it back to them. So they said like the shirt is blue. I'm like, oh, so you must like if I say like this color is blue, the shirt is blue. Like, so what I hear you saying is that the color is blue. And you just add on to it as well. So they say like I like the walking horses because it reminded me of my grandfather, and he had, you know, 2 or 3 different types of, he had three of the same breeds. You would say, oh, so you have like a fine memory of X breed of horses because you grew up going to your grandfather's farm. You would see them all the time, and you'd be like, yeah. So you're recognizing what they're saying, and you're recognizing, appreciating, and then giving it back to them so that they know that they're being heard. And when they feel that they're being heard, they feel that they're being understood, and the closer they're going to be able to give that back to you as well. So that's basically a lot of what he said. And one of the notable things that he said is also to train like every other achieving professional. So when he first started, he was working on used cars. He would, you know, pull up. He's from outside of New Orleans, so he would be like the 400 degrees, hot boys type stuff that he would be listening to. But as he started to move up in the ranks, or he wanted to have more for himself, he started to listen to audiobooks as he was coming into the office. And during like some of the deals, he would use some of the stuff that he learned from the audiobooks, you know, day of, and it would be able to help procure a sale. So different things that he would do is like just learn from the experts, read books, listen to podcasts, attend seminars, do whatever it takes to know. Have the willingness to adjust your lifestyle to accommodate these tasks. So he accommodates these tasks because he has a 4-year-old son. So by the time that he gets home, it's not going to be like any reading that he'll be able to do. So that's why he does the audiobooks instead of just listening to the radio or attempting to, you know, read while he's at home, because he may not be able to have the opportunity. Next is to create space during personal time, like driving to work, of course. The space for growth is present, but it must be used appropriately. I have no idea why I wrote that down. One thing that he said, it's a quote from Denzel Washington, is don't confuse movement with progress. Like, just because you're moving somewhere does not mean that you're making progress, because you may be on the escalator going up and you may be walking downwards. So you're not making any progress anytime soon. And then one thing, that's very important, because as you move through life, you want to make sure that you're making progress and not just moving, burning energy and calories without a specific goal in mind. And then one quote that It's from, I cannot get his name, but I'm gonna put his name down below. It's like Eliak Kup, Eliak Kipkuch, and he was, I don't know what country she's from, but he broke the sub 2 hour marathon record over in Austria during like one of the marathon runs. And this is what he said. He said, only the disciplined ones in life are free. If you are undisciplined, you are a slave to your moods and your passions. And I feel like this is very important because if you're able to become stoic and overcome your emotions and your passions, you then be able to think logically and think objectively about everything that you want to accomplish and be more disciplined along the journey. So as you become more disciplined, you'll then be able to be free. You're not going to be bottled down by your emotions or your moods and your passions, or even by other people as well. As other people, they're going to give you a job and tell you exactly what to do. So if you're working at a job, you're not necessarily free. However, if you're working as an entrepreneur, you are bettering yourself by you are bettering the company, and as a result, by bettering the company, you're being compensated as well. So that's a way that you can become disciplined within the job sector as well. And then you can become an entrepreneur and just do all for self, and then be able to inspire other people to be able to work for you, like who is Gooch does with his home healthcare company. And then if you are undisciplined, you are a slave to your moods and your passions. So it's like whatever you feel like doing, that's what you're going to do. And there's not going to be any consistency. So although there's going to be movement, there's not going to be any motion, okay, or any progress. So that's why you always want to be able to be disciplined, so that you're taking notable steps to be able to get from A, B, all the way to Z. And then your passions can also be a hindrance, and they can be a deterrent as well. So it depends on if that passion is going alongside your ultimate goal. When I started the Cash to Credit Challenge, and then I got into the Mastermind, the reason why I really joined the Mastermind is so that I can better utilize my personal credit and business credit, and have a better financial understanding or financial literacy of what credit and cash, what I can really do with it, and be able to just be able to have all of the personal credit that I needed, and then move into the business side of it. So then once I had the money, I can then use OPM or other people's money to be able to jumpstart a business, so then it could be funded, and then I'll be able to generate cash flow as a result. So I'm turning credit into cash, and I truly do thank Miss Cashflow for that, to be able to help me out with this entire process. And as a result, I'm on stage 3 of my relationship with Navy Federal, as I have 3 pledge loans with them. I have 2 checking accounts, a savings account, and then a direct deposit set up. So that's 8 hits that I have as far as building a relationship with Navy Federal. And I'm looking to do 2 more rounds, so then I can have 10 positive relationships with Navy Federal before I begin to apply for the credit cards for them. And then I do plan on doing the auto loan with them as well, so then that can be my 3rd car that I can put on to Turo. And everything seems to be working out the way that I need to be doing. And the thing that I like about the mentorship is that I'm able to network with people within the mentorship as well. So then if I'm struggling with one thing, somebody else can help me with it. And that's the beauty of having people working alongside with you, moving in the same direction, because they're not too high, they're not too low, but they have different skills in different areas that you can hold on to be able to help you to help benefit you during the times that you need. And if there's a skill that you have, you can then help them as well. All right. So those are the 2 people that I had so far. And then number 3 is Glow Jays. And overall, he was able to have over 1 million followers in all of his platforms over the past, I want to say like 5 years.
That's what we're gonna do today, right? We about to go to the mall, full makeover, whatever, like clothing items, however you want to do it.
Okay.
Cool?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Full video, link in bio. Look at my boy, man. He's just in here. He loaded up, man. That's cool. Let's do it. Last time y'all gonna see him like this, man. He about to go to the barber shop right there and get a crazy cut.
All cleaned up.
You gonna take the face hair off?
Oh yeah, it's all coming off.
Okay, cool. Ladies, watch out now. He got his haircut. We did the full makeover. He got new outfit, new clothes. He
came to the city of Atlanta by looking on LinkedIn for like a way to be able to get into like a car dealership, being like I don't want to say it was like a porter or something of that nature. But he came in making $100,000. He lived in like Little Rock, Arkansas. So he had like 2 interviews to be able to get the job. And he had a bubble on his car, and at any time that bubble could have popped. And he only had like $200. So he had to travel up to Atlanta to be able to get a job interview for like the first wave. And then this person told him that it went extremely well, but he had drove it back and he had to come back up like, 3 days later, 2 days later after he got the call. So it was a week after he got the call, then 2 days later he had to come back for the panel interview. Thankfully he was able to get the job and move from Little Rock to Atlanta. But he knew that that wasn't a job that he wanted to keep forever. So he started posting and doing a lot of stuff on social media, interviewing homeless people, getting their information. And that was one of the reasons why he was able to go viral on social media, because one of his clips finally shot. And he said he made that decision. He made a decision at that time that's all he was going to do. So he was able to quit his job that he was working at and then just do full-time in social media. So he was just giving a lot of game about social media. One of the things that he said that he uses for his clips and everything is Video Leap. Video Leap, he's able to sync up his audio with the like any camera or anything else. So he has he'll do like a voice memo up close. So you see like people doing interviews on the street, you'll see them like with an iPhone or some kind of microphone up here, and then they'll be recording on like another object.
What's up, brother? Good. You went crazy. I see you took the wrap off from the last video.
Yeah, man, it's summertime, so you know how we play. In the summertime, we gotta be a little bit brighter.
This is hard. So this is the first house you ever bought?
Yes, sir.
A camera, I should say, and then he'll go through Video Leap and sync it up easier that way. And that's one thing that he would do. So he has a social media team now, or he has a VA really. So he'll still do the video edits and everything of that nature, but he'll tell the VA when to drop it on the different websites, on the different social media sites. And one of the things that he likes to do is, he'll drop it at a certain time. Like with Instagram, he only drops like once or twice a week now. With Facebook, it's about the same. But with TikTok, he posts like pretty much like 4 or 5 times a day, because like with TikTok, you can drop as many times as you like, and it doesn't really, change the algorithm or anything like that. And then Shorts, same thing, probably like 2 or 3 times a day, or once a day with Shorts. And that's because the algorithms are different. And what he'll do is like he'll look back at and he'll see like which of his interviews are popping. And then if you see like there's a spike in, him flirting with girls, he'll go and do like something with that. He'll create a video with that. He'll stay with the algorithm. So it's all about staying within the algorithm. One thing that he said about Facebook is you want to be able to stay in the algorithm. Otherwise, they'll put you out in like Instagram or in Facebook jail or something, So a lot of game that he was giving, he really didn't give like a step by step, but a lot of it was like a lot of Q&A that people were having. And one of the things that I found was interesting is that he was shy, that he was avoiding going live on Instagram, even though he does like a lot of live interviews. And one of the things that he suggested, even if it's like a paid promotion, he'll only shoot it once, because if you shoot it twice, people will know like the difference and they'll catch the vibe. So you definitely want to be able to shoot that just the one time. And one thing that he definitely gave away that I felt was very, very important is that you can't be canceled until you stop. So we live in like a cancel culture where people want to be able to cancel X, Y, and Z because they're in that, society is not I can't even say it, but it's not socially acceptable to be able to say X, Y, or Z, or state your certain standpoint. But when you say that you can't be canceled until you stop, that's very true, because you're only when you stop is when you allow the cancellation to be solidified. All right. And then one of the things that he really said that I felt was true was that to be authentically you. Like you can't, like Myron Golden always says that if you're being somebody else, if you show up as somebody else, you're not there and they're not there. And that's saying is very powerful, because there's only one unique person in you in the world. So if you try and show up as somebody else, you're not there because you're not them. And they will be there because they are genuinely themselves. But by you showing up as somebody else, you're not showing your authentic person, so you're not showing up as well. And so by working on yourself, by showing up authentically, that's when you're going to pop. So it's not about being somebody else. They've already seen that before. You can imagine having like Drake, somebody else shows up, same facade as Drake, same swag as Drake, same delivery as Drake in the rap world. People aren't going to flock to him because they're going to see that he's a duplicate, he's a copycat, he's not genuinely being himself, and as a result, he's not going to do well or as well as the original Drake. But if he were to be authentically himself, unapologetically himself, he will be more likely to be successful because people are going to be more genuinely connected to the type of person that he is.
To learn more information about PRM and the family of products, check out the description down below to set up a 15-minute complimentary call, and you can also check out the website. You're just one click away for a better life. Your health is too important to continue to push it off. Go ahead and check out the website and see if a product fits you.
All right, and the fourth person we had come to the stage, I don't know his name. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, but his company name is Elite Web Professionals, and essentially they create websites specifically for the city of Atlanta, and they're the #1 search engine optimization company in Atlanta. So then the different websites that they produce, they go #1 as the search bar, well, for the search engine of Google. And there's different things that he gave game on to what you can honestly do. I'm going to go ahead and go through all 7, and I may or may not be able to get to all 7 as far as exactly what to do to be able to get to them, because I'm not an expert in it, but he is. So the first thing that you want to do is have a title and tag. And the title and tag is going to be, how you title your website. So then when people search for the website, they'll be able to see like the title in it that they're looking for. So the keyword search. Number 2 is going to be a meta description. So you're going to describe what your title is about. Number 3 is going to be H1 other headings. So it's going to be like subheadings. So it feels like door, I want to say like health. Below that could be like wellness, nutrition facts, different things of that nature. And then you're going to have a body copy. And the body copy is going to have like nutrition, health within like the paragraph. So for every 500 words that you give on the website, you want to have like a 2% ratio of your keyword or your title in there. So health is going to be in there at least 10 times. Number 5, you're going to have alternate tags and image names. So you want to tag your images. So when you upload the image, you want to title it what it actually is. So when the search engine is looking for or optimizing different items, it'll be able to bring it up as well. Number 6 is the page name or the ATM. And then 7 is a video transcript. And I think this is very important. This was something that he was saying in 2023. More and more companies are going to be able to optimize their search on Google. So as being a content creator, I'm creating a lot of videos on Instagram and different things of that nature. And this really gives me a heads up once I start to create a website, because for every video that I'm doing, I can then give them an explanation of what exactly the product is in a clear, concise manner that they'll be able to understand as I'm making more and more relatable content. So everything is really interconnected. I want to go through the different things that was talked about in more detail. So the body copy, this is very important because you have two audiences. You have the search engine, and you have the people that are searching for you. So the SEO is just going to make you more findable. And going back to Chris Pfeiffer, is you want to be that subject matter expert. And by having the SEOs, that's going to make you more and more likely to be that subject matter expert. And it's all in your title and your body copy as well. So the search engine is what people put their names in, what they put the information in to be able to search for it. So every question that they have, you want to be able to have a page to be able to answer that information. And in doing so, if people are constantly going to you and they're able to receive answers for their questions, that's going to optimize the search engine and send more and more people your way as they see that you're the helpful website. And then the people are going to be the second thing that they're going to be that's going to be your second, and then people are going to be your second audience, as they're going to be able to help help your business get business by getting clientele. And then the more that your website is able to help them, the search engine is then going to matriculate more people to your website. One website that I found that was very useful to be able to copy and paste and see what exactly they do page for page is XML-siteapes, and it's spelled SITEAPS.com. And basically you go to any website, any competitor that you're looking, that's like the number one in your area that you would like to copy or emulate. You'll go to their website, copy and paste it to the .com, and then put it to the XML website, and then it will generate everything that they're doing. So it will show you how many pages that they have. I'm pretty sure it'll give you a lot more, but that's all that he went into. But basically, it will just give you all the information that they have, and just to show you like how much that they're doing to reach the rank of number one for the search engine. And he went into further detail about everything that you can be doing. However, it was so much game that I really couldn't remember everything. Thankfully, I will be able to listen back and go from there. After he went up, Pushman Mitch came back. He went to a mastermind, but then he was able to come back and give some more information. And one thing that he was saying, he challenged us to do is we should create a product and be able to offer that product 50 times a day. So make 50 hours a day. Well, make 50 offers a day. And basically he was saying that if I make 50 offers and then you make 0 or 5, he's going to make more money 9 times out of 10 than you are. And I felt like this is vitally important because I took part of Myron Golden's Make More Offers Challenge. And this is one thing that Myron Golden was saying. He was saying that entrepreneurs do not make enough offers. So there's 3 different tiers that you can have. You can have one, the lead magnet, and this can be like between like a $0 and $200 price tag, and then you can have a medium-sized offer, which is going to be, medium. So it's going to be between like over 200 and like 5,000. It can be like up to 10,000, and then you're going to have your high ticket, which is going to be something that's going to be over $10,000 and above. But based on different things that you offer, it could be, your low ticket could be 10,000, your medium could be 50,000, your high ticket could be 100,000. It all depends on which niche that you're in. And I feel like this is very important because we put our own limitations onto ourselves. And one thing that Mitch said is that all of your limitations are based on what you can afford. So you think about everything that you're buying is based on what you can afford. And your limitations are keeping you confined to a certain area of your comfort. So your comfort, your limitations, what you are able to afford is confining you to your beliefs. And then once you push yourself outside of your affordability zone, past your limitations, you then get to tap into a different level. And I think this is vitally important because when I got into like the mastermind, this was something that was beyond my affordability level. But this is something that's very much needed in order so I can grow to become something new. And I'm looking now to see like different ways that I can offer 50 offers every single day. And one thing that I do is I do partner with a company that's a nutrition company, and it's all organic. So that's something that I can easily do. I just need to be able to tie more in and be more fluent into it. So then I can get my testimonials, so then I can get some more customers over and over again. And I already have a couple of testimonials about like how the product tastes.
It was good. It's good. Smooth going down. Good taste. I mean, everything was good on it. Hoping it's gonna give me strength to run 3.1 miles here in a minute. But great. It's good. Thank you.
I just need to be more detail oriented and be more specific so that I can become prolific. So it is now 5:28. The mastermind actually starts in 2 minutes. Thankfully, I'm only like 5 minutes down the road, so I'm going to go ahead and get dressed, get ready for that. And you're gonna see me in a whole new fit on my way back. All right, so as always, you all stay fearfully fit and fearfully blessed. And as always, like, share, and subscribe. And share this video if you enjoyed the message.